When I talk about self-care, I'm not talking about massages and pampering yourself. If you are looking for inner peace, you won't find it by doing all of that or reading inspirational quotes. You'll have to go deep and go at war with yourself, with your deepest traumas. This isn't rainbows and butterflies and unicorns. I fully understand that. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. How are you? So I have to repot some of my plants, and I thought, why don't I do a video where I'm talking to you guys from my notebook and also repot my plant. I want to put this huge thing in here. It's not much of a size difference, but I just wanted to switch the pots. I really like that pot and it's not being put to use, and this one's just in a regular terracotta pot, so I thought, why not? So that's what I'm going to be doing, and this is something that I do to kind of relax and get away for a little bit. The kids are playing, so it's such a nice day today. This is a perfect time to do it. So I'm just going to read off some stuff. I was watching an interview from Jada and Jay Shetty, and I wrote down a lot of the stuff that caught my attention. But not only that, stuff that I also added to it. And so I'll just read bits and pieces from that, and then I'll just be reading bits and pieces from stuff they said, stuff I think, and then also repotting my plant. So let's get started. If you guys are new to my channel, I talk a lot about healing. What I talk about is not your version of healing, or if you don't agree with anything that I say, you don't have to watch my content or my video. You guys can just click another video or just leave my channel. But if you're here to stay, welcome, and I'm excited to have you guys. And I think it's really strong of you guys to start this journey of healing and evolving. I just want you guys to know that I'm still learning, and I don't know all the correct ways or my perfect version of what I want to do yet. This is just me dipping my foot in the pool because I had to start somewhere. The beginning is to start, and you have to start doing something. So this is me starting, and it's not going to be perfect. So if any way in your head, if you think I should be perfect or know exactly what to say or how to say it, then this is not for you. I don't think my content is for you. I'm just simply taking you guys along for the ride as I'm learning, and I'm gonna get better, and this is just the beginning. So that being said, let's get started. With these sunny days, I'm gonna bring my plants out and let them get some natural sun, because the natural sun will give it these beautiful fenestrations. Like this is a monstera plant, so that's what I'm doing right now. And this plant definitely needs water, but before I water it, I want to repot it. There we go. And it's a good day so far. I was doing a video, and a repot video. It was one of my last videos that I did, and I was trying to repot this, or one of my other plants, into this pot because I really like it, but it didn't work. It was like nailed into there because it had a hole. That's why it doesn't want to come.
Why not? Let me see.
Because
it's tangled up the end. What?
Cool. I went through a lot of depression and bad thoughts as a kid. I thought everyone around me was happy and normal or perfect. I thought this because we are all conditioned to make others think our lives are perfect, and from a young age I used to be told, what will they think of you? From a young age though, I never cared about what people thought. I never ever cared. I used to always tell my parents, I don't care. I got pregnant really young. I let anybody have their opinions of me, and my instinct was always to rebel. So if I was told to worry about this and that, what others thought, instantly I didn't. If I was told by someone I couldn't play soccer after having a C-section sophomore year, I started training and running because I always loved a challenge. The doctor was like, you can't go play soccer, you just had a C-section, and I was like, bet. Bet. I love you. The ego takes over and causes us to believe that our trauma we have been through is more painful, and we're not the only people who are hurting this way. And I've read that in a lot of my books. People I've been with have gotten so defensive with like, oh yeah, you've been through this, well I've been through this, and my boyfriend did this to me, and I'm just like, sorry. Like, but then people that have the craziest stories, I'm just like, wow, that's crazy that you've been through all of that. Like, that shaped you to be here and to now want to evolve. Like, it took all of that, and if one of those parts were missing, you wouldn't be ready to be at this point you are right now. We are not the only people who are hurting this way. And it also doesn't mean because someone is strong and positive that they didn't go through something traumatic and painful themselves. Trauma can make someone bitter and resentful, or it can make them genuine and loving. It just depends on what you've been through and how you view things, your perception. The ego always wants to be the most superior in all aspects. That includes our story we tell ourselves and others. The story of being a victim of something, and it wants to be the most hurt compared to the other. It wants to prove it's been through the most, and also believes that it's the worst story next to the other person's story. When we do this, we're accepting and attracting more and more pain and more painful situations to come to us and to continue, so that we continue to be the most suffered. So you're literally attracting those things to stay the most suffered. Jada Smith mentioned, every human interaction is for a lesson to be learned, not for reliability on your happiness. I added on your happiness because it's true. Like, I used to rely on Jason so much for my happiness because he's my significant other, and for the longest time it was really hard for me. Now it's one partner tries to go on the path of healing and evolving and bettering themselves, and the other one is kind of struggling. And I felt like for a while that was him at first, which no, he wasn't on the path. He's just always been pretty confident in himself, but I never was. And also now I am the one like, okay, we gotta go, we gotta be at peace, and he wasn't ready for it, but now he's like ready for it, and he's listens to the things I have to say. So whenever he's ready, he's gonna do it, but at the time he wasn't ready. We expect others to be mind readers, so that's what they mentioned, and that's true because I expected him to be a mind reader to me. I expected him to know the comfort and love I needed at the time of me struggling, and he didn't, and I would get mad and resented him for that because I was like, you don't do this for me. When I'm sad, you need to come and comfort me. And he didn't know that, but I expected him to without even having to tell him. I was like, you need to know this, and he didn't. And I had to start at self-love myself, just like Jada also mentions, because I have to start with myself first. I have no love to offer anyone if I don't love myself, which was said by Jada. I want to heal myself so that I have that to offer rather than my trauma. One of the first movies me and Jason watched together was The Notebook, and I just romanticized that. Is that how you say it? Romanticized that movie, and I felt like that was the definition of love, and that was my favorite movie, The Notebook. That's why I named Noah. And so I loved that book, and I loved the way he loved her and the way their whole story, it was amazing to me. And so I always viewed love as the way The Notebook. I know it sounds crazy, but I know a lot of people do this too. I always viewed love that way. I was like, you need to love me like that, you need to do that for me, that's love. And that's the farthest thing from love. And she mentions in the interview, she's like, yeah, it does get like that at one point, but it takes a lot, and eventually we'll get there once like we're at peace and we're both, you know, fully present, I believe. She said, what I do know is true love goes from me to the higher source back to you, which is from me to the higher source and then to Jason, because that's the way it goes. It started with me, and now I'm working on myself, and I'm able to fully give him what he needs from me. Sometimes I have to be pulled up by Jason, and sometimes he has to be pulled up by me. There's some times where I just can't, and I'm like, babe, I need a little push, like I can't today. Or there's his bad weeks where he comes home and he's just like this, and I grab him and I'm like, it's gonna be okay, look at all you've accomplished, stop focusing on this. He told me, he's like, he gets so frustrated at work sometimes, and he was like, babe, he's like, I stopped worrying about like my hours because he works commission. He's like, I stopped worrying about all that, and I just was so sick of worrying about that because he would stress over that so much. And he's like, I started just focusing on me and just pushing. He's like, I just started working harder, and things are getting better for me at work. When he is worried about the other person next to him, that's when things go shitty, because he's adding energy to this person getting the best jobs because he works on cars. And when he stopped doing that, he realized that himself, his perception has changed so much. I am such a choose your perception person. Like, I tell him all the time. It took him a while to do that. It didn't come naturally to him the way it did to me, and it didn't come naturally to me the way it does now. So it took some work, and you have to really choose your perception, because that attracts what you get. You get what you ask for. I used to expect Jason to know all the ways on how to love me. He did it, and I would get so mad when I was just like, why can't you have the instinct and just know? I always thought he was supposed to have the instinct and know everything that I needed in any way to make me feel better and make my sadness go away whenever I was sad. He was supposed to do this on my birthday and he didn't, and then you start resenting them. He knew I was tired. Why didn't he go make dinner? No, you need to verbalize these things to them. Just things like that I used to resent him for, because he wouldn't do things perfectly or even bother trying to do certain things, and I hated it. I was so mad. I was like, why? Like, I just hated it so much. Whenever we were disconnected, I just expected him to like be the one to light the spark again in our relationship, and it still happens. Like, there's times where we disconnect and I'm just like, okay, we need to come together and we need to sit down and talk and just have like one-on-one, because relationships need that. I have no love to offer if I don't love myself. I have full responsibility for allowing the types of behavior I get from others. I'm not going to play victim anymore and blame others for how I'm getting treated. I choose who I allow into my life, and lots of the behavior or the way I am being treated is almost 100% of the time expected. So the people that we allow into our lives do certain things to us, and then we want to get mad and play the victim, but a lot of times it's expected of those people. So you need to just take full responsibility for who you're allowing in your life, and just know that you don't have to allow them the ways you're being treated. We can act like a victim all we want, but we already know they are this way. We invite it and we choose it. Nobody can do to you what you don't allow, which is said by Jada. It is never them, it's always me. I loved that. I was like, yes. When I hit rock bottom, I was crying out to God, and I was asking him, why are these things happening to me? Why am I always sad? What's going on? And Jay Shetty mentions that these aren't questions. A question is, where is the pain coming from? What is causing this? Why am I hurting? And he mentions that those are innocent requests, when we're just like we just have to ask the right way. Like, we have to ask with intention. During the time that I surrendered, I told God, I was like, I'm done trying to control everything from relationships and those around me. And the day I stopped allowing myself to have the illusion of control, my life started unfolding, and it hasn't stopped since. I stopped trying to control every single thing in my life, and at the time I was just always mad, and just mad because nothing was turning out the way it was supposed to. And so I stopped doing that, and now things are getting better, and they just keep getting better for me. I keep attracting the better good of everything. I deserve all of that, and I keep getting it, you guys. Like, really, I keep getting it, and it doesn't stop. It keeps going. Jason is now on the same frequency, and we're both on the same vibration, and we're attracting the things that are coming into our life are so nuts. Like, only us know what's about to come, and it's gonna blow all of your guys' mind. The things that are about to come, the opportunities that we're getting, and you guys are just gonna have to wait and see. So Jada says, we create suffering. We try to prevent suffering only to create it more. All the suffering in my life was created by me. We all have gifts, and we're all given talents and things that we're good at. And we're put on this earth to show those gifts. Those little fires inside of us, those desires, we need to go for them, because those are what we're here for. Those are, you have to follow that intuition that you have. Let it soak through. Whenever you feel curious about something, or something catches your eye, sometimes a color catches my eye, or a word, I write those down in my notebook. Where my curiosity sparks, those are clues. I take those clues very seriously. We all have our own version, and this is my version, and you guys happen to be watching my version of what I'm doing, and you have your own version. And sometimes you might watch me and you're just like, that's not how I would do it. Well, how about you go do it in your own way? Start. At least I started. When I talk about self-care, I'm not talking about massages and pampering yourself and getting your nails done. And if you are looking for inner peace, you won't find it by doing all of that, or reading inspirational quotes. You'll have to go deep and go at war with yourself. Confront yourself with your deepest traumas, insecurities, fears, and doubts. This isn't rainbows and butterflies and unicorns. I fully understand that. It's ugly, it's sad, depressing. But once you take yourself through that and begin taking yourself out, the sunshine starts peeking through the blinds. Everyone's stories are unique, and those stories got you to this point. And now you can see. Now maybe little by little you are beginning to understand me. I know that one day, maybe years from now, you're gonna pick up bits and pieces that you've heard me share, and it's gonna help you. My mind feels scrambled all the time because I always have so much to say, and if you know me, you know that I don't ever finish my sentences. But I want to get better, guys. Thank you for being patient with me. I know I'm not the best, and yes, I'm still learning. I had to start somewhere, and here I am. It may not be the perfect way, but at least I'm trying. The beginning had to start, and I'm only evolving from here. I know that everyone learns differently, and I know that the way I learned in my path is not going to be like yours or the next person's. But guys, my language is only my language, so not everyone's going to understand, and maybe one day you will. But at least I'm trying. At least I'm freaking trying. I'm just kidding. I'm good. Keep going, and it's gonna get better. Bye.